Today let's go over, should we play DM or TDM? In my opinion, we should play TDM. Let me explain why. Let's first start with the dimensions of both. In TDM, you're always fighting someone in a 90-degree angle. And you're fighting in DM, you're often fighting in a 360 kind of angle. When we're in game, do we really need to flick around a lot and do those like 360 or 180 flicks? No, because in game, we get the comms, we get the crosshair placement and the map of knowing where they are. In DM, the spawns are ridiculous. You often need to do 180s for some reason. And is that really what's happening in game? Of course not. You as a player, you know where they are and where they play generally, and you know how to preem or place your crosshair in a general area. So then after, what you need to do is you either make the adjustment with your aim, which is like a micro flick or a small flick, or you use movement to make the shot easier. In DM, it only seems like the only thing you can practice is movement. The most important thing that is often overlooked is the intervals of kills. Well, in DMs, if people quit the game, the spawns are super slow and far. So that means a lot of the times when you're playing DM, are you spending your time practicing using your mechanics? Not necessarily, because often you're just looking for people or you die from behind. So then is it efficient to practice this way? Of course not. At least in TDM, you know where they will spawn, you know where they will come out from, and people are often stacked together. You can practice using movement on two people. You can practice your target switching. It's way more convenient and efficient. The next thing we can talk about is the quality of the fights. What do I mean by this? Well, in DM, people don't really care about how they swing. They just go in and they try to hit a flick, and they don't really care as much if they die. In game, people are going to be way more cautious with what they do. They're going to be slower. They're maybe going to be tight swinging, crouch peeking, jiggling you, or jump peeking you. So it's really hard to practice onto those factors when you're just playing into an environment where people don't really care and they rush head in first. Also, you as the person who's holding the angle, you might know the spawns, you might play off sound, so you're also playing onto the advantage that you have. But in game, a lot of the times, even if you have the sound, you know there's 5 there. Are you going to be able to hold the angle against 5? No. The last super important thing that doesn't really happen that often in DM is pre-aiming. So pre-aiming means slicing the pie in a way so that you make the shot easier for yourself. If you're pre-aim, the micro adjustment becomes shorter. So then it's an easy adjustment that is consistent, and that's what you should be hoping to do in game. But in DM, it's really difficult to do it because people don't really swing you the normal way. So you don't really need to do it. Pre-aiming doesn't necessarily mean clearing every angle. Pre-aiming means making the shot easier for yourself, right? So how does it look like? Here is a clip where you can tell that, oh, the shot became easier. How? It's because I sliced the pie in the general area. Let me explain. Let's take a look at the ISO kill. Well, instead of rushing my crosshair all the way to the right, I pre-aimed the left, then the right. Now let's take a look into JETT. I heard JETT come up close to me. The only way he can see me is on the left, so he's gonna go out wide towards me. Finally, how should you play TDM to make it transfer to in-game? What's important here, you try to understand what are good fights, what are bad fights. So how much should you be overheating or not? This will help you really practice being controlled and composed in game instead of just always overheating. You will know your boundaries. Next is, you want to analyze your deaths. Was it because I overheated? Was it because my pre-aim missed? Or I'm not using enough movement? And when you do this, you really do get better because you're really replicating what's happening in game as your mistakes when you're taking a fight. Lastly, where should I go to get a lot of fights? Go somewhere where you don't cap as much. Try to really go out mid. Try to get a lot of fight. If you guys enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe. There's some free coaching in my Discord server. Check that out.